there is some very, very bad news. One of our players has quite literally been John Okoro'd.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sunshine on Leyth. If you're still enjoying the series, drop a like. That'd be superb. So, last episode. Basically, little explanation about this, because I think that albeit some of the things happening in the episode are a little bit annoying, but that's FM sometimes. And sometimes, basically I'd had 3 hours sleep. So that's what I'm putting it down to. I think that, firstly, because of that, I actually spent at one point 2 or 3 minutes looking for headphones that were directly on the desk in front of me on Monday. So that just gives you an idea of how I operate when I'm sleep deprived. But more importantly than that, I think that would have probably allowed my cognitive ability to at least maybe make some changes during those games to maybe affect them a little bit more than I could. But yes, so it's still frustrating, but I do think we can't possibly be that far off of the right track, to be honest. Let's face it. And obviously, I do appreciate tactical stuff in the comments. I absolutely do. But please understand that I cannot enact everything. In fact, I won't enact 95% of the things, because when you've got 2 or 3 or 4 different conflicting comments about tactics on the thing, you really can't do much with it, really, than try to just sort of work things out for yourself, which is what I try to do, essentially. Which means I have actually made a couple of tiny tweaks to the tactic. And I don't like to make big sweeping changes either, because then you have no idea what actually did the trick. And that's another thing, you know? A right mid has to have a double barrel name in order to be a success there. These are the facts, as Rafa would say. This is very, very true. And honestly, I do think that Birch McNaught has been one of our best players this year. I've really liked a lot of the things I've seen out of him, so it seems to go along with that, quite frankly. Plus, I like calling him Birch McNaught, because that sounds like it's his full name, and it makes him sound like a private investigator from 1950s America. I love it. I might just call him that from now on. We didn't want to go up anyway. Need to beat Blackhaven twice next season. Well, we're going to find out about that today, because we've got the derby match coming up. Honestly, I'm really kind of glad we didn't go up as well, because firstly, look at where we are now, but also I think it would have been too much too quickly and we'd have really struggled. Like, really struggled. Right, so let's get into the game, and I'll talk to you about the couple of tiny changes I made. So Alex Neil is managing Plymouth. Someone made a joke about how I always mention the names of the managers, even though you don't know who they are. The reason I do that is because my face cam is covering them, and I thought sometimes people always ask me who's managing what club. That's the reason I say it. So we are down towards the bottom, but we also do have games in hand on the teams around us, so it's not perhaps as bad as it looks. Now we lose to Plymouth and things start to look a little bit worse. So, big changes. Big changes. 2 changes I've made. Firstly, Richardson to DLP, or just this role to DLP in general. Now, I know that some people have mentioned this in the comments, and I think maybe we were a bit ambitious trying to go to a Regista so quickly. I think we should have moved up slowly from what we had to a DLP, then to a Regista one day. One day I'd quite like to have like a Segunda Volante in there as well, but oh, come on, this is League One. So firstly, that will allow Richardson to play in a more natural role. Also, it will allow Idris, when he plays there, to be more natural as well. And I think we'll maybe get more out of Richardson this way. And the other thing, and I think this is the key reason why I like this more, is you may have seen, hopefully I would have included a clip in the last episode of me getting annoyed because Richardson wasn't releasing the pass quick enough and instead was dribbling towards the defender and never actually playing the pass. Now, I think obviously we have run at defence on. That's one reason, but that shouldn't affect him. The main reason I think is because a Regista relies on more dribbling, and I believe a Regista is told to dribble more, whereas a DLP is not. So my hope is that he'll actually play those passes more now that he's in the correct role for himself. So we'll see how it goes, but I think that's one change that will have a positive effect. And the only other change I've made is I've had it so that Griggs will actually... Wait, wrong one. Griggs will throw it long. I just want to see, because he's got 15 throwing, whether that might be a more ideal form of distribution for Russell Griggs. I just want to see if that could work. We may have to turn it off of centre-backs distribution in order to make that work, but I just want to try that out, basically, particularly as his kicking and vision aren't as good. So, selection device, we're obviously going to have to make a couple of little changes. That's fine. Russell Nevitt can come back in. Idris... I like the partnership here, but I really do think Max McCoy, I'm going to give him a chance again. We're going to have to keep giving him a chance. Part of me almost wants to put Idris in instead of Richardson, to be fair, so we'll have to see how it goes. So the bench will be Bruce, Aline, Johnson, Vernon, Catley, Idris, and Thomas. It's all a work in progress at the end of the day. One of my favourite things about FM, weirdly, in a kind of perverse way, is things going a bit wrong, because then you get the joy of trying to fix them. And that's actually the most fun I ever have on Football Manager. Although I'm going to be honest, it doesn't always feel like that during the things going wrong part, you know? But I hope that nevertheless that could be entertaining, because I know that there's a fine line between man gets annoyed and that's funny, and man complains all the time and that's just not funny, you know? I did also have a look at the set-piece defending again, just to make sure that nothing had got switched around or something, but everything seems to be the same. And interestingly, we on average concede less fouls than our opponents in virtually every game we play. So yeah. I think corners need to be defended slightly differently. I'm noticing that corners, it seems to be less about them aiming for the tall player and more about just popping it to the far post in general, and I might actually change my corner defensive instructions. I made a slight change to the corners to have our tallest defender and best in the air zonally mark the far post area. I'm feeling a deep dive coming along in the off-camera matches. That's what I'm really feeling right about now. McCoy gets it. Good. Now, if we could just drop this off the rear. Okay. Interesting choice. Morton could win this, though, and he has. Well played, Dave. That's great work. He could go all the way through and have a shot here. He's going to. Dave Morton, and it's in. Morton scored. Whitport 1, Plymouth 0. Okay. That was unexpected. Dave Morton, that is a wonderful goal. Fair enough. Russell Griggs, by the way, with the long throw out, or was it a kick? Either way, that was an incredible pass from the goalkeeper. Morton, but this is a wonderful finish too. Look at that. Bam. Back of the net. Whitport 1, Plymouth 0. Okay, assist from the keeper, interestingly. Okay, a chance for us now. Can Sullivan put one on someone's head? He does! And it's in the back of the net. It's Josh Parry, and it's suddenly 2-0 now. Fran Sullivan at least is getting assists. The man can deliver a football. That goes without saying. And we are 2-0 up against Plymouth Argyle. Now, again, I don't know how much of this is anything to do with the tactical changes I made, but nevertheless, the result doesn't change. It's 2-0 to Whitport. If we don't bottle this here, suddenly things start to look a little bit more rosy. Well, there we go. Whitport 2, Plymouth 0. And as the first half's worn on, the possessions come back, we're committing less fouls, and we've actually started to create some opportunities in this game. Okay, a chance for us from a throw. We've got plenty of players back. Sullivan. Oh, okay. Should be a nice one for McCoy. Well played. Just keep moving that ball around. Unfortunately, you can't tactically do anything about that. Neil Cross. That's better from Neil. Look at this. He's got real drive for him when he's up there. And he's still got... Oh, okay. We do still seem a bit shaky in places. I've got to be honest. Oh, what an opportunity. What a header. And that looks like it's going to do it. It's going to be Whitport 2, hopefully. Plymouth Argyle 0. Unless there's one more. Cross is... Oh, he's not going to have the... No, he doesn't. Whitport 2, Plymouth 0. That's a good result. Plymouth were in the playoff spots. In fact, I believe they were third coming into that match. We've just beat them 2-0. Now, it's a fairly even game that we've come out on the right side of, but I saw things in there that I really liked. Firstly, we're not fouling as much. We weren't anyway. Only the one yellow card, too. Created some good opportunities, took them, and looked quite solid at the back for the most part. A couple of little changes to set pieces, and I think we might well have something here. But we will have to see how things go, basically. Play it by ear, and I do think we might be on the right track with a couple of little changes. Griggs had another excellent game, though. That's really helping us. So, some games off camera, and then back, I think, for the derby. Right then, guys, we're back. And when I say we're back, oh boy, do I mean we're back. But ironically, not really in this game. The first goal that we scored away at Southend United, who were below us in the league at least, was a bit fortunate. Morton to the back post. Birch McNaught has the shot. It deflects in off the Southend defender. So very fortunate to take the lead. We didn't start well. And we got our just desserts immediately after that. Poor defensive. They got behind our DMs, basically. Once you're in that position, it's very, very difficult for us to get back. And it's a great strike from Stevie Humphreys, though, former Fulham player, smashing it top bins for Southend. Thankfully, though, 18 minutes into the game, we actually did manage to find ourselves a way back in front. What about this for a pass from Neil Cross? Dinks it over the top. There was Birch McNaught through again. Smash of one. Solving cases left and right, Birch McNaught at the back post. But we then did concede another equaliser this time. I mean, this is just an incredible strike from Robinson. He's so far out. He has 7 long shots, by the way. I checked. Yeah, just a wonder goal. Thankfully, though, we scored one of our own, as Fran Sullivan finally scored a goal for us to give us back the lead 3-2 just before half-time. Lovely, and we held on from there. Was not the best performance for us. I put Idris in for this one, just to see how he did, and he did well, to be fair, so pleasing. Also, I think I've figured out how to use Idris and Richardson alternately, but without... you'll see what I mean. Next up, though, we put in one of our best performances for years, probably since that Forest Green game. Neil Cross got the ball on the left-hand side, was able to bundle his way through, whipped it back across. There was Fran Sullivan, second of the season for him, second in as many games, 1-0 inside a minute. But it took a little while longer to sort of get going after that, but once we did, oh boy did we. Drops it off to Idris, knocks it around the side for Nevitt, back post, and who is there but Birch McNaught yet again. Lovely work from him. He's really taken off. 2-0 on 33 minutes. Then, right before half-time, we made things even worse for Stevenage, and this was just lovely work again. Thornley dinks it up, Morton with a little knockdown, and Neil Cross sweeping at home from the edge of the box for 3-0. Good to see him scoring another goal. Terrific. Then in the second half, things just got worse and worse. A breakdown from them, from one of their own set pieces, crossing acres of space, found by Russell Nevitt again, and this time it's just a simple finish for Neil Cross. 4-0 at Castle Park. Stevenage are struggling, to be fair. And you can understand why. Again, Morton receiving the ball on this left-hand side, completely unmarked again, and it's just really simple stuff for him. Able to dink it up to the back post, and there again is Birch McNaught. Another goal for Birch McNaught. What a player. And we still have time. Also, notice there's a lack of set-piece goals. Still have time for one more, though. Joe Bruce, get into the box, and this is just lovely. Eventually, the ball ends up with Neil Cross, but instead of shooting, he rolls it back for Max McCoy, who drills it home for 6-0 Whitport. What a result. And lastly, we hosted a relatively struggling Coventry City. Had to rotate the side around a little bit. I had to put John Richardson in this time. Now, I figured out how we can use John Richardson better. Lovely ball over the top for Neil Cross, and it's a simple finish for Crossy. Similar story again here. Picks the ball up, runs with it a little bit, waits for the run, then Morton picks it up, drills past the defender, and then it's just simple stuff again. Pops it across. There's Neil Cross again. 11th goal of the season. I think that's his 10th in the league as well. Coventry got a red card in the second half, but this was before that. Thornley's ball over the top. Curtis Thomas off the bench to replace James Dale. He's going through on goal, and of course Curtis Thomas scores. You know it wouldn't be Curtis Thomas without a goal. 3-0 Whitport. And all that leaves us 6th in the league. Back up to where we should be. 19 points on the board. We are still behind Plymouth, ironically, who we beat. Blackhaven, who we play today, are right there now as well. They've started winning too. I swear their form seems to mimic us. It's stupidly close a lot of the time. When we start to drift off, so do they. Except for the end of last season. Lol. There is some very, very bad news. One of our players has quite literally been John Okoro'd. And that player is Dave Morton. He broke his lower leg. And yeah, 3 months out from the specialist. Could be worse. But could end up being more in total, as it always tends to be. Thankfully, though, other players have had a little bit of a rest, so at least that's helped us. So, yeah, we'll see. I really don't know what to expect from this game, to be honest. Obviously, Morton cannot start, so Joe Bruce will come in. I've got high hopes for Joe Bruce, so maybe he can pull it off. He's only really had substitute appearances. We're also going to bring Richardson out and bring back in Idris, but you can see they're both putting in fantastic performances. The one difference, though, is Idris plays way more key passes per 90 minutes. It's getting a bit ridiculous now, so I think that might be why he's starting to win that position over in total. We can bring back in Sullivan, too, which is always nice. And the back line will obviously change around as well. So Kai Knight will come back in, and Josh Parry will also come back in. And in theory, Russell Nevitt should also be fit to come back in. So we beat Coventry 3-0 with a massively rotated side too. And Johnson will also now be able to come out, because it's undeniable that Birch McNaught has been absolutely sensational this season. I love him so much. Turns out that all we needed all along was just another double barrel player. Although, to be fair, I have just changed his name fully to Birch McNaught now. That's now canon. He's a PI in his spare time, and I'm fine with that. So, Keenan Davis and Adam Jeffs up front for Blackhaven. That's going to be tough. Let's just see. It's the derby. What could possibly go wrong in the derby? We got 2 wins against them last year. I'm concerned. I have a feeling we may come a cropper here this time. But, you know, that's okay. We're in good form now. I'm liking overall what I'm seeing from us. Also, at one point, Griggs had an average rating of 7.01. A goalkeeper had an average rating above 7. Now, we got a 6.8 in the Coventry game, obviously, because, you know, clean sheet and all that. So it brought it back down slightly, but still, very interesting. Gets out of the wide areas again. We're getting a bit overrun here. McGovern. Oh, wow, all the way through. Botfield. Wow, that was a good chance for Blackhaven. Very cagey affair so far. Idris is through, though. Can he find the right pass? But Bruce! Oh, and of all people, you thought 6'7". It was just above him. If he was 6'10". Also, I checked, and he's actually Trinbagonian. And he has actually got some caps for Trinidad, too. Yet he's still considered to be English. So I'm guessing those were only friendly appearances or something. That's the only thing I can imagine as to why. Oh, McGovern's in. Sean McGovern. Blackhaven score with their first shot on target. Owen Palmer, the right back, with the ball across. And McGovern's just headed that one home. Bad defending from us there as Costas. We've actually been pretty good defensively today. Basically limiting them to virtually nothing. Staying relatively strong, but they get dragged in a little too deep there. And Palmer's put the ball through. And I don't know what the right back there, Thornley, has just got completely caught out. And it's 1-0 Blackhaven. Damn it. Right, okay. I haven't seen a lot of Griggs with the long throws yet. The one time I notice it the most is when we get a breakaway opportunity. He's really capable of picking out a nice long throw, and it seems to be more accurate than any keeper's kicks that we've had in the team before. McCoy. Options left and right. It's cleared. Nevitt, though. That's it. Bringing it back around. Bruce knocks around for Neil Cross. He can't turn, surely. Idris. Nevitt. Sullivan! Yes! Fran Sullivan doing Fran Sullivan things. Ain't nobody out jumping the Frans. That's a great goal. Nevitt with another assist for the season. I think Russell Nevitt has already got more assists this year than he did in the entirety of last year. This is a lovely ball in. Whips it across. Sullivan is completely out jumping. Great. And the keeper nearly got that. It's 1-1 here in front of the Leyth fans who are just standing there looking at him for some. There you go. It's finally clicked with them. It's like there was a radio delay. Well won by Thornley. Birch McNaught with a chance to run down the right. Oh, slips it straight into the path of Fran Sullivan instead. Can he pick out Crossy? Bit of room. Neil Cross. Good block. Really nice work again, though. Come on, there's enough bodies there. That should be simple. No, it's not. Thornley clears it. And hello. Ben Johnson could take his man on, and he does. He's got 3 players around him, but he's got fresh legs right now. He's got to try and find Thomas or Franz. Whips it in. Thomas! Wrong player to go for. Okay, so 2 minutes to go. Very, very tight. Thornley, basically, I'd say a goal now wins it for someone. Oh, Idris. Oh, I thought he was going to take that first time. Oh, crap. Big header from Josh Parry. Nevitt does really well there. Johnson again. Johnson's through. Benches! Come on! Blackhaven 1, Whitport 2. Hang on a minute. Didn't he do this last year? He scored a 94th minute winner to win at the Leyth Investments Authority Stadium last season. And look who's got the assist. It's Russell Nevitt again. Goes past one. And look at this for composure. Round the goalkeeper. And it's 2-1 here. We're going to win the derby for the 3rd successive time. Well, hang on. I actually don't believe it. If Ben Johnson wins 2 consecutive derby games away from home for us, that would be mental. What a club legend he'd become right there. He scored the winner in the first derby ever for us to win, and now he scored one away from home again. Bruce has got it, though. Bit of space for him. Finds Johnson again. Look at the overlaps here. He's found Thornley, and it's another great chance there. We've carved them open in the final few minutes here. Blackhaven 1, Whitport 2. We've come from come from behind to win the derby match. And there we go. That is a massive, massive win for us. Ben Johnson and Fran Sullivan with the goals, but Russell Nevitt getting 2 more assists for the season. He is really looking good this year. What a performance. We're up into 4th place. We go above Blackhaven again, and game in hand means we could technically go comfortably into 2nd spot. Things are looking up, my friends, considering where they were last episode. There we have it. A win in the derby in front of nearly 9,000 fans. Our 3rd consecutive derby victory. We've really turned things around on Blackhaven. They still look like a good side, but we really played that game brilliantly. Johnson was phenomenal coming off the bench to score that goal. You can always rely on him in a derby. There we go. So next episode, we're going to come back against Rochdale first, because that doesn't matter. It's a stupid trophy no one cares about. And then after that, 2nd episode, not really sure yet. Maybe Gillingham, actually, so we can do FA Cup first round in the next episode after that. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you have, we're on good form again now. Drop a like, that'll be awesome. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We just need to pull ourselves out of that little rut, and now we're back on schedule. Yeah, stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and usually at the weekends as well over on Twitch, so go follow there too. And I'll see you guys very, very soon, as hopefully this could be the year that we really do start to accelerate away at the top now. Let's just see, although the Dave Morgan injury doesn't even seem to have affected us. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun, Capybara. Bye-bye.